Yep, ready when you are.
Okay. Hi, Nadia.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
All right, and yourself?
Pretty good. How are you? How's your mood been this past week since I've seen you?
Average. Pretty average.
Okay. Anything out of the ordinary for you?
Well, one of the people in my group, she's talking more than she should, and that's kind of affecting how I can run the situation.
Okay. Run the situation. Can you elaborate on that?
I have my message to deliver, as you very well know, as I've at least explained maybe 5 or 6 times. But she tends to try and interject into that, and I don't really like that, but I think it's because she's interested in me.
Okay. So do you feel like that the overall prayer group hasn't been going well because of this?
She's distracting them. That's the problem. Everything else has been going okay because you're still attentive to me, but anytime she talks, they turn their attention to her, and that's definitely distracting them, and it's not going to work out.
Okay. And have you spoken to her about this at all?
I've told her she needs to stop, but she tends to keep trying. I don't know if she's trying to bother me. I think it's really because she's just interested in me.
Okay. What is she, when she wants them to focus on her, what is she talking about that's different than what you're trying to?
I'm leading the discussions. I'm always leading the discussions. It's my discussion because it's my prayer group. But anytime that she tries to interject with, well, I believe that, she doesn't really know. She's trying to know, but she doesn't really know. She's just going off. And that pulls all their attention all the way over there, and it's completely losing the track of the entire flow of getting my message across, and it's not working out.
Okay. And the other members of your group, they know that you have the message to spread?
Obviously, that's why they're there. It's the whole point.
Okay. And this message, can you just elaborate on it further?
Well, partially it's the goal of moving past where they are right now, because obviously everyone that's here right now doesn't know that there's something better. So they're the ones that are trying to get to that something better, since they're aware of that now that I brought them to that message. So it's kind of the process of just moving better.
Okay. And you think because she's interjecting that she doesn't necessarily believe in the message that you're...
I think she does, but she sometimes thinks that she's more important, and that's not the point. The point is I'm the one that's supposed to lead them there, but she thinks that what she has to say is supposed to help. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
Okay. And last week you did mention something about spiritual enlightenment. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
That's moving on to the better place. That is getting to a higher level. That is ascending. There's a whole bunch of different synonyms that you could use for it, but the point is where we are here right now isn't working out, obviously, with all the terrible things that are going on, and we want to move past that, especially these people in my group. They're definitely akin to that message and moving past that.
Okay, so I'm going to switch gears a little bit here, and I'm going to go back into what we were talking about last week about your relationship with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
You did mention that you guys were pretty close.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, constantly.
How does she feel about your message?
She's all behind it. She knows that she's one of the first people that helped to facilitate it. So she's always been behind it and always making sure that I get to prayer group on time and always taking me to church because she wants to accompany me, because she wants to be there to listen to me. So she's very, very supportive.
Okay. You said that she was one of the ones that facilitated it. What does that mean?
I mean, she gave birth to me.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
Okay. And has she ever, throughout your life, stated that she didn't, believe in this message, or she felt like...
That's funny. No, not in the slightest. The only thing she's ever been interested in is supporting our faith, and that's her goal. That's my goal too. So we've been very, very tight-knit as a result of that.
Okay. And you bring up your faith. So if you didn't necessarily have this faith identity, would you still be able to spread your message?
My message is my faith. My faith is my message. I don't understand separating the two.
Okay.
They're kind of the same.
Okay. And you mentioned before that your dad wasn't in the picture here.
Can't say I know anything about him. My mother never talked to me about him at all.
Okay.
It might have been for the better, it might have been for the worse. It's hard to tell.
Okay. So I'm just kind of going along the lines here of relationships. So, you mentioned that you're kind of in and out with your friend groups, but you still feel like that you're able to provide for them. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Pretty much, yes. The people that want to associate with me are the people that are interested in the message. So if I do have friendships or relationships, it's people that want to be near me. It's not necessarily that I have to go reach out to them. They want to come to me. That's how everything's always been. That's why I had the prayer group to begin with. So some of them I would consider my friends, but not really all of them, because some of them just, again, she wants to have the spotlight on her, and I don't know why she wants to have the spotlight on her, because she knows about the greater message. But regardless, it's very close now.
Okay. And would it affect you in a negative sense? Let's say if not as many people showed up to the prayer group.
I'd find more.
Okay.
I could always find more.
Okay. And how would you go about doing that?
Just between churches. Like right now I've been focusing on the one church that I attend because it's the easiest and it's the closest that I have to home, and I've been going there multiple times a week. But of course I could always try other churches. I haven't done that yet. It's part of my trajectory, but I'm going to start small and then move big.
To spread your message.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're, okay.
Precisely.
Okay. And you mentioned that the message comes through your guardian angel, is that correct?
Yes, of course.
And so, have you ever had any conflict with your guardian angel, or had any?
Not really. He just kind of talks to me. He just lets me know what I need to say. He helps me get my thoughts down and kind of organize them, because sometimes it's just a lot of information that's coming into me, but he helps like straighten them out so that I can get them out properly and efficiently. But I don't think I've ever had to argue with him, because he just kind of talks to me, just tells me things.
So you would say that you guys have a pretty good relationship.
Yeah, no, he knows like when I need to hear and when I need to listen.
Okay. Yeah, going off that, can you kind of describe what an interaction with him would look like, where you would be, or?
It's not really an interaction, it's more of an ongoing process. He's kind of just always there with me, and he's kind of always just giving me this information, and I just kind of have to process it as it comes. But there's really no point where it stops, because he's always next to me.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just become a constant.
Do you feel like this disrupts your sleep at all, or your daily routine? Do you feel like it hinders you in any way?
I wouldn't say so, because I'm so used to it. I mean, he's been there basically all my life from what I can remember. So just having him there is more of a calm. So there's been one instance where I couldn't really hear him that very well. It was kind of garbled. And I was very confused by that. It was very distressing, but it was, I don't know, it was a little too much for me at that point. But the second that his voice came back, everything was fine. So I'd rather it be there, because it's been there.
So you find it more of like a comfort then?
No, of course.
Okay. And you said that you've had him there for the majority of your life, from what you can remember. Do you remember before that any type of event that might have resulted or led up to you having your guardian angel there with you?
I don't think so. I don't remember if canonically they're assigned at birth or before birth, but I know that he's always been with me.
Okay. And now, is there anybody else in your family that has received the message in the past? Any of your elders?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I know my grandmother was very strong in the faith as well, but she wasn't really the type that could accept the message. And I think that's what my mom tried to explain to me once, which is why she decided to give birth to me as well, because she wanted to help try and pass that along through the generation, because I think she knew that we had the gift, but then she wanted to create that herself, so then I existed.
So I'm kind of getting the feeling that you believe that maybe that's why you don't know where your father is, or you don't know anything about him, because your mother just decided to give birth to you, and it might be something with your faith.
That's a good question. I'm not really sure, because she never really talked about him. We've never even discussed him. I've never even asked myself, because if she didn't feel the need to tell me, there's really no need for me to ask. So I just kind of accepted that for as it was, especially because she knew that she was so invested in me, and that I was the main reason that she had to keep propagating. I don't want to use that term either, because that doesn't sound correct, because it was during wedlock. It's not like she would have me out of wedlock, because she knows better than that. She's Catholic.
Okay. Okay. You did refer to yourself as a conduit in the past. Can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
That's more as to my relationship with my guardian angel. He speaks through me since he's not able to speak himself, which is why I'm the one that has to carry the message for him, and I'm the one that processes it to provide it to everyone else. So I'm kind of what would be considered a conduit by science terms,
Yes.
basically.
Okay. And so can you just go over this again for me? Where he can't speak for himself and he's giving you the message, but where's the origin of the overall message?
From God. I mean, there's no other place that it would come from. If it would come from any other place, I would know because I could feel it. I definitely feel the presence of God and the light of God, so that's something that I need to share.
Okay. And since you mentioned that he's always been with you, so you've never in the past questioned the presence of God at all?
Except that one time when he stopped talking and I couldn't really hear him too well. That was the point that I was very concerned that maybe the message was coming from another place, but I found out that the reason it was being blocked is because it was being blocked from the other place, which is below us, and that's why I couldn't really hear it too well, because that was kind of getting in the way. I'm still not sure how that happened or why, but it stopped. So as long as it stopped, I'm good because he's still there.
Okay, and so that's something that's very unsettling for you then?
No, of course, especially considering that I'm supposed to only be promoting this message of light, that if it could get interrupted at any point, that would definitely not serve my purpose at all.
Okay. And you mentioned what's underneath. Can you
Hell.
elaborate? Okay.
Mhm.
And so basically